Chair, Mr. Speaker, to the member opposite, I certainly appreciate questions about this because this is a turning point in the utilities history. Never before have we seen such significant steps taken at the senior leadership level of the utility and had somebody with that level of third-party credibility coming forward to do a review and bring forward recommendations. And we look forward to making sure that those recommendations are certainly put forward so that the province can see what we're going to do to make sure that the utility is on track and meeting all of its goals and targets. But I'd also like to take a moment to have a conversation with the member opposite about concern that he stated over the report being started and us doing things. I'm very confused about that. I think the members opposite, and I'm sure the province of New Brunswick, is very excited that the utilities identified $50 million in savings, come out with home heating efficiency programs, and are here to do the work, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's interesting that the member opposite, if you look at the question, now a question from the opposition is usually meant to be salacious, usually try to cast a disparaging view towards the government, but let's look at what was in that question. The member opposite, if I could get him to read it again, he'd probably have to read it again because I'm quite confident that somebody wrote that for him in the back. It was very technical and it had lots of listings within the legislation that exists. And so what he's doing is he's talking about existing legislation. At many different times throughout many different years and at the course of regular doing business, there is an exchange back and forth on a variety of different financial components between the government and between the utility. So the member opposite is quite frankly and quite obviously trying to create some sort of a salacious story here by talking about existing legislation. I certainly hope that we have some more subsections that he can refer to in his third and final question. To the member opposite, and I think I'm going to adopt over the remainder of my career in the legislature a highlight on the details of what these opposition questions are. I don't know if anybody else heard the statement there, but he said that we are planning on spending $4 billion in Mactaquac. Did you hear that, folks? But have we talked about that? Have we committed to that? No, of course not. And then also saying that NB Power is going to raise the rates by 8.9%. Mr. Speaker, last I checked, there has not been any indication that that has been approved. The member opposite is taking great liberties to presuppose outcomes in an effort to create fear, in an effort to create doubt, and in an effort to create instability in something as important as our public utility. And I think that the province of New Brunswick is outraged at making cheap shots in an effort to create instability within something as important as our utility. Let's start talking about what's being done, and let's start talking straight here, Mr. Speaker.